guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee Marie and I teach you how to. Today's video is all about business finances and basically what's going on in the financial world right now, because businesses are hurting in 2025. I don't think it's a stellar year for anybody. And so basically I'm just going to talk about kind of what's going on in the business world right now, especially with small businesses, and then also give you some tips on how to maximize your profits for 2025 and try to make the most out of the kind of crappy situation that we're in. So obviously in 2025, the biggest thing right now in everybody's mind is the tariffs. I'm not going to get political at all in this video. Current administration is kind of, with the tariffs, wreaking havoc on small businesses, and that's just a fact. The small businesses that I've seen online, they're making videos that they are being hurt by these tariffs. I personally have already contacted the companies that I work with in China, and the tariffs are real. Prices on a lot of things have not only gone up, but also they've told me about the tariff charges, and it's quite a bit more expensive than it was in 2024. I really do hope that the administration can work something out or do something with regard to the tariffs, especially with China, because a lot of makers do get bulk product from China. And that's, I think, where it's hurting most small businesses. If you don't know, a tariff is a tax, and contrary to popular belief, it is not a tax that China pays, it is a tax that we pay. So for example, if I order $1,000 worth of product from China and there's a 30% tariff on that product, then I'm on the hook for a $300 tax. That's what we're talking about. So if I import that $1,000 worth of goods and there's a 30% tariff on it, I'm going to be paying $300 additional dollars, the $300 in tariffs for that product. It is something that is really impacting small businesses right now. And like I said, I just truly hope that the administration can figure something out and either roll back the tariffs or come to some sort of agreement with China. That would be great, because I have already started hearing and seeing videos of small businesses that have been impacted by the tariffs. That's the biggest financial impact currently that small businesses are facing in 2025, and I really hope it gets worked out. The second thing that's kind of hurting small businesses this year in 2025 is the rising cost of everything. I mean, everything is more expensive. And while some of it might have to do with tariffs and things like that, I think it's overall just companies that are raising their prices on everything. We've seen a lot of price increases in materials, in products, and ingredients. So that is definitely something that, prices, it's normal for prices to go up every year, but I think in 2025 we're seeing a big price increase in things, and I think it again does have to do a lot with the economic kind of picture that we're having this year is not great, and so I don't know if maybe companies are panicking and raising prices because they aren't, confident in the market or whatever it may be, but unfortunately, again, as business owners, we kind of have to eat those cost increases. Since 2025 is becoming a very expensive year, when I look again at the market and I look at the businesses around me, I see posts all the time of businesses that are closing, businesses that are liquidating everything they've got because they just can't compete anymore, they can't make it. So far, economically, 2025 isn't great, but I wanted to give you guys just a couple of tips of what you can do as a small business owner to try and rectify some of the things that have been happening in the economy, basically, that is not helping small business owners. But we can try to combat it and we can try to work through it. So here are some tips for you. First tip that I'm going to give you is to downsize. And what I mean by that is if you're currently spending money on things that aren't making you money, get rid of them or downsize. I am in my new space, which I absolutely love. It's not quite ready yet. I still have shelving to put up. I still have things that I want to decorate with, so I can't give you the tour yet. But I am definitely in a smaller space than I was before, and I did that on purpose because the space that I had before was awesome. I loved it, but it was huge, and it had a big rent. And I originally got that big space because I wanted to do candle classes and I wanted to hold events, which I did. But this last year, I realized that I'm really not holding enough events or enough candle classes to make it worth the payment, the rental payment. I decided that rather than having, a retail space and rather than having a place where I could hold candle classes, which I really only did during the holidays, to be honest. And like I said, they were great and they made a lot of money during the holidays, but then I'd be 8 months, 9 months with no candle classes in this huge space. So for me, financially, it didn't make sense. I downsized. It's the greatest thing I ever did. My rent is now 1/3 of what it used to be, and I'm taking all that money and I'm reinvesting it into my business and helping it expand. So I am focusing more on my wholesale relationships, private label clients, and that is what I think has helped me this year, especially financially. Like, I'm doing so much better financially than having this huge rent that I had before hanging over my head. If you have the ability to do so, I would downsize. I would try and budget and save as much money as possible because this year just feels like such an uncertainty that I don't think this is the year to kind of, do a YOLO and go big or go home. I'm not feeling that economically. My second piece of advice is try this year to only focus on your best-selling items. Know that it's fun, especially when we're making products, to try and expand your product line. I have a friend who I think has like 30 or 40 different items that she makes and sells. Keep in mind, again, with the rising costs, the economic uncertainty, people aren't buying as much as they used to. They're not spending their money as wildly as they used to. What I would do is I would focus on the items that sell the most, your most popular items. I would promote those. I would sell those at markets. I would really focus on making those even bigger and growing those items. That also comes another piece of advice, which is really to use this year to focus. And what I mean by focus is really focus in on your business and the things that are making you money. If you're paying monthly subscriptions for things that aren't helping you or use them once or twice a year, get those things out of your budget. Again, this is a year where I would try and save and maximize as much money as possible. This year, I would also be very selective about how you spend your money. You're used to doing a lot of markets. I would be very selective about which markets you do. So I always do a market which is in St. Petersburg, which is about 2 hours away from here. It's a great market for us. We always do really well on it. And this year they were adding a Halloween market, which I thought would be so much fun. The problem is because it was a special market and it is not necessarily, the market itself is within an event. So it's an event for St. Petersburg and they're having a maker's market within that event. And I thought, oh, that would be a lot of fun because we always do very well in St. Petersburg. But then I saw the price, and normally we pay $125 for a 10 by 10 spot outside for a tent. This particular event, which was one day only, wanted $275 for that same 10 by 10 space. So I couldn't justify it. I had to be selective about how I spent my money because, again, this wasn't an event where people were going specifically for the market. They were going for a community St. Petersburg event where there happened to be a market. And because of that, I was selective in my choice and I said, I'm not going to do this market. I want you this year to be very selective about how you spend your money and what events you do and what markets you attend. Make sure that those markets and those events are focused on your client and that it is something that's going to bring you money as opposed to just paying money to set up a table and wishing for the best. The last bit of advice that I'm going to give you for 2025 is to network like crazy. There are a lot of times that you can go to networking events for free or for a small price, $25, $30 is the most I would pay. But I would just network like crazy because network is something you can do for free. You can reach out to businesses, you can reach out to partners, you can reach out for collaborations. I would attend networking events and I would let them know what it is that you do and how you can benefit their business. And it actually works. I think my first full year as a candle maker, I think $25,000 of my income was just private label referrals from networking. So it can be extremely profitable. Generally, it's either free or has a very low cost. So I would network like crazy. I hope that you liked today's video. I hope that it was informational, and I hope that it can help you in your business. I do have more videos coming out. I'm sorry for the delay. It has been a lot to move my entire warehouse to this space, to a storage unit, to lots of things have been going on. So I apologize that this video took so long to get to you, but I am definitely back. We're going to be coming with more videos about business, finances, budgeting, and also I've got some great tutorials coming up as well. If you like this video, please do hit the like button and also consider subscribing. As always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!